Captain Tom Wilson stood frozen as he watched the large screen. His hands gripped the metal rail so hard his knuckles turned white. Around him, the other human diplomats were just as silent. None of them could believe what they were seeing. On the screen, 12 alien leaders sat in a half-circle. They were voting on the fate of Earth. One by one, they'd pressed their buttons. One by one, the lights turned red. "The vote is final," said the tall blue alien in the center. His name was High Speaker Vol. "Earth will be quarantined permanently. Humans are too unpredictable, too dangerous to join our peaceful galaxy." Tom stepped forward. "High Speaker, please. We have followed every rule for 50 years. We have traded fairly. We have shared our art and music. How are we dangerous?" Vol's 4 eyes blinked slowly. "Your kind speaks of peace while preparing for war. You build ships with hidden weapons. You train your children to fight. Even your games are about victory and defeat. That's our history, not our future," Tom said. "Give us more time, To. The Council has decided." Vol cut him off. "To show our resolve, we will now give a demonstration." The screen changed to show a small space station. Tom recognized it immediately. Research Station Omega, where his brother worked. It was unarmed, filled with scientists studying space plants. "No," Tom shouted. "That's a peaceful research." A bright flash filled the screen. When it cleared, the station was gone. Just empty space and floating metal pieces remained. Silence filled the room. Tom felt sick. 300 people were on that station. His brother was dead. All the other humans were dead. The blue alien spoke again, his voice cold. "Return to your planet, Captain Wilson. Tell your leaders that this quarantine is not negotiable. Any ship that leaves Earth's orbit will meet the same fate." Tom didn't remember leaving the council chamber. He didn't remember boarding his ship. His first officer, Mike, found him staring at the wall in his cabin. "Captain, we need to get back to Earth," Mike said gently. "The alien ships are moving toward us." Tom nodded slowly. "Set course for home. Maximum speed." As the ship raced through space, Tom recorded a message. He included everything: the vote, the threat, and the destruction of Station Omega. When he finished, he sent it to Earth's United Government. 3 days later, they'd reached Earth. Tom's ship landed at the main spaceport in New Geneva. A crowd was waiting. Not angry, not shouting, just silent, waiting. Prime Leader Jackson met him at the door of the ship. Her face was hard like stone. "They killed my brother," Tom said, "and 300 others, just to make a point." "We know," she said. "We got your message. The entire planet has seen it." She led him to a large room where the world's leaders had gathered. They sat in a circle, faces grim. On screens around the room, billions of people watched and waited. For the first time in human history, Prime Leader Jackson said, "Every nation, every colony, every settlement has voted the same way. We have been pushed too far." She turned to face the cameras. "The Galactic Council believes we are dangerous because we understand war. They're right. We do understand it. We know its cost. We know its pain. We have spent centuries trying to move beyond it." Her voice grew stronger. "But we also know that there are things worth fighting for. Freedom, justice, the right to exist without fear." She looked at Tom. "Captain Wilson, you are the last human to speak with the Council. What do you think they will do next?" Tom stood tall. "They will come to make sure we stay in our cage. They think we will accept this. They think we will be afraid." Prime Leader Jackson nodded. "Then they don't know humans very well." She turned to face the world. "Today, humanity makes its choice. The stars are our birthright. We will not be imprisoned on our own world. We will not watch as they kill us one by one." She took a deep breath. "As of this moment, Earth is at war." And across the galaxy, no one yet knew what that truly meant. 3 days after Earth declared war, Chief Engineer Anna Miller walked through a large metal door hidden deep inside a mountain. 2 guards checked her ID before letting her pass. Beyond the door was a secret that only a few hundred humans knew about. Anna stepped onto a platform that looked over a massive underground cave. Below her, thousands of workers moved around huge ships that gleamed under bright lights. These were not the simple trading vessels that Earth showed to the aliens. These were warships. Impressive, isn't it? General James Davis said as he joined her on the platform. He was a tall man with gray hair and eyes that had seen many battles. "How long have we been building these?" Anna asked. 15 years, the general said. "Ever since the first alien ship landed, and we realized how far behind we were." Anna nodded. She had been brought here because of her work on Project Pandora, a secret program to study and improve alien technology. For years, her team had carefully collected broken parts from alien ships. They studied every piece, learned how it worked, and then made it better. "The Council thinks we're primitives," Anna said. "They don't know what we've been doing." "That's our advantage," General Davis agreed. "They think we'll fight like cave people with clubs. They don't understand what humans do when threatened." He handed her a tablet showing a map of the galaxy. "The Council has 7 main species and 20 smaller ones. The blue are the weakest. They're traders, not fighters. Their home planet is here." He pointed to a blue dot on the map. "What about their defenses?" Anna asked. "Good enough to stop pirates, not good enough to stop us," the general said. "Especially with your new toys." Anna smiled slightly. Her toys were the most advanced weapons Earth had ever created. Shields that could absorb energy attacks, engines that were twice as fast as any alien ship, and weapons the aliens couldn't even imagine. "When do we attack?" she asked. "In 6 hours," General Davis replied. "Before they can organize, before they expect it." In another part of the base, Captain Tom Wilson stood before 500 soldiers. These men and women would be the first humans to fight an alien species. They looked calm, but Tom could feel their anger just below the surface. "The aliens think they know us," Tom told them. "They've studied our history. They've watched our wars. They think they understand how dangerous we are." He paused, looking at each face. "They're wrong. They've never fought humans before. They don't know what we're capable of when we unite." A young soldier raised her hand. "Sir, they killed my cousin on that research station. Are we going to make them pay?" Tom nodded slowly. "We're not just going to make them pay. We're going to change the galaxy forever." As the soldiers prepared, General Davis met with the world's leaders in a secure room. On screens around them, they could see the alien warships forming a blockade around Earth. "They expect us to try to break through their line," Davis explained. "They think we'll attack head-on because that's what primitive species do. Instead, our ships will use the new jump drives to bypass their blockade completely." Prime Leader Jackson looked at the plans. "The blue homeworld first, then." "Yes," Davis confirmed. "They'll never expect it. By the time the Council realizes what's happening, we'll have already taken control." Above them, hidden in Earth's orbit, 50 warships waited silently. Their hulls were black, invisible against the darkness of space. Inside each ship, human crews made final checks of their systems. Weapons were loaded. Engines warmed up. In the lead ship, General Davis gave the order they had been waiting for. "All ships, prepare to jump. Today we show the galaxy that humanity will not be caged." One by one, the ships disappeared in flashes of light, leaving Earth behind. The Galactic Council had made a terrible mistake. They had threatened a species that didn't know how to surrender. The quiet preparations were over. Now, the galaxy would learn what it meant when humanity chose war. The blue never saw the human ships coming. Their planet, a beautiful blue-green world with 3 moons, had only basic defense systems. The blue were traders, not warriors. For thousands of years, they had relied on the Galactic Council for protection. When 50 black human ships appeared in their sky, The blue sent a confused message. Unknown vessels, please identify yourselves. In the lead ship, General Davis smiled grimly. This is General James Davis of Earth. Your council has declared war on humanity. Surrender now or face the consequences. The blue leaders were shocked. They had voted for the quarantine, but they never expected the humans to fight back. The humans were supposed to be trapped on their own planet, surrounded by the council's blockade. Impossible, the blue leader said. How did you get past the blockade? That's the thing about humans, General Davis replied. We do the impossible every day. The blue tried to call for help. Their distress signals went out across the galaxy, but help would take hours to arrive. The blue had only minutes. We surrender, the blue leader said quickly. Please, we are not warriors. We are traitors. We have families. General Davis nodded. This was what they had expected. Smart choice. Here are our terms. Your planet is now under Earth control. Your ships and technology belong to us. Your people will not be harmed if they cooperate. Within 1 hour, human soldiers controlled the Blue's main cities. The Blue, with their 4 arms and blue skin, watched in fear as humans set up bases and communication centers. But as the hours passed, they realized something surprising. The humans weren't killing anyone. They were strict but not cruel. Captain Tom Wilson led a team into the Blue's main government building. The blue aliens moved aside, their large eyes watching nervously. Secure the communication center, Tom ordered. I want control of their planetary network. Mark Reed, Earth's intelligence director, worked quickly at the alien computers. His fingers flew over the strange controls as he accessed the Blue's systems. I'm in, Mark said after a few minutes. I have access to everything. Their communications, their trading records, even their council voting history. Tom looked at the information. What about their broadcasting system? Can we send a message to the whole galaxy? Mark nodded. Yes, and I have just the message to send. He pulled up footage from their body cameras, videos showing the peaceful surrender of the Blue, the human soldiers helping injured aliens, and the Blue leaders signing the surrender agreement. We need to show the galaxy that we're not monsters, Mark explained. The council will tell everyone that we're savages who kill everything in our path. This proves otherwise. The message went out to every planet in the galaxy. Along with the footage, Mark added a simple statement. We only want what you took from us. Stand aside or share their fate. On 3 other planets, alien leaders watched the message with fear. These species, the Krell, the Vind, and the Joppa, were also weak members of the Council. They had small militaries and valuable resources. Within a day, all 3 sent the same message to Earth. We surrender. We will not fight against humans. In the Galactic Council's main chamber, the 7 remaining species argued loudly. The oldest members, called the Elders, wanted to negotiate with the humans. They took 4 planets in 2 days without killing a single alien. One elder said, perhaps we underestimated them. The military leader of the Vex, a reptile-like species, slammed his fist on the table. They are primitives. They got lucky. We should crush them now with our full force. As they argued, more reports came in. Human ships had been seen near 6 more planets. The Council's great fleet was scattered, trying to defend too many worlds at once. No one in the Council understood what was happening. They had fought wars before, but not like this. Human warfare was different. Fast, focused, and surprisingly merciful to those who surrendered. And this was just the beginning. 1 week after the first attack, the 7 remaining Council species met in an emergency session. Their grand meeting hall, once a place of calm discussion, now buzzed with fear and anger. High Elder Moore, the oldest of the Council members, raised his thin hand for silence. His skin was pale gray, and his 3 eyes showed deep worry. We must accept that the humans are more dangerous than we believed, he said. 4 planets have fallen without a fight. Our member species are surrendering before human ships even reach their worlds. The Vex leader, General Kraz, stood up. His scales turned bright red with anger. "Because you all show weakness," he hissed. "The humans have primitive weapons and small numbers. If we unite our fleets, we can crush them easily." "Is that why 3 of your battle stations went dark yesterday?" asked another council member. "Did the humans' primitive weapons do that?" Before the argument could get worse, a human face appeared on the large screen in the center of the chamber. It was John Porter, recently named Earth's Ambassador of War. His expression was calm but firm. "Honorable council members," he said, "I come with an offer of peace." General Kraz laughed harshly. "You attack our worlds, and then speak of peace. Humans truly are as stupid as they look." John Porter smiled slightly. "We did not start this war, General. You killed our people and threatened our planet. We are simply responding." He looked at each council member in turn. "My offer is simple. Any species that declares neutrality in this conflict will be left alone. Those who continue to support the quarantine of Earth will face the consequences." High Elder Moore leaned forward. "And if we all stand against you, then we will defeat you all," Porter said simply. "It will take longer and cost more lives, but the result will be the same." After Porter's message ended, the council erupted in angry debate. The Vex demanded immediate military action. The elders called for negotiation. 3 more species announced they would leave the council and declare neutrality. While the council argued, the Vex secretly launched a massive attack on Earth. 500 of their best warships jumped into Earth's solar system, expecting to find the human homeworld undefended. Instead, they found a trap. Hidden defense platforms around Earth activated as soon as the Vex ships appeared. Automated weapons locked onto hundreds of targets at once. On Earth's moon, massive cannons turned toward the incoming fleet. In the command center beneath New Geneva, Prime Leader Jackson watched the battle on a large screen. Beside her, Captain Tom Wilson and Engineer Anna Miller monitored the defense systems. "The Vex thought we sent all our ships away," Anna said. "They didn't realize we built defenses around Earth first." On the screen, the Vex ships tried to retreat. It was too late. Earth's defensive grid lit up, firing thousands of energy beams into space. Vex ships exploded one after another. "Send the recording to Porter," Prime Leader Jackson ordered. "Make sure the council sees what happens when someone attacks Earth directly." Meanwhile, on a distant council world, human forces faced their first real resistance. The alien defenders fought bravely, but they had never experienced war the way humans waged it. General Davis watched from his command ship as human soldiers advanced through the alien city. They moved in small teams, using cover and supporting each other with precise fire. The aliens fought as individuals, each trying to be a hero. They died as individuals too. "They don't understand," Davis said quietly to his officers. "They've had peace so long they've forgotten how to fight." By the end of the day, 3 more council worlds had fallen to human forces. With each victory, more alien species contacted Earth to surrender or declare neutrality. The once mighty Galactic Council was fracturing, with former allies turning against each other in fear and desperation. Half of the council now either supported Earth or had been defeated. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting faster than anyone could have imagined. 2 weeks into the war, the remaining council species gathered in a secret location. Their grand meeting halls were abandoned. Now they met in a hidden base deep underground on the Elder's homeworld. "We are losing this war," said High Elder Moore, his voice tired. "Half our worlds have fallen or surrendered. Our fleets are scattered. The humans advance faster than we can respond." The Vex general, his scales now a dull green of defeat, nodded slowly. "Their tactics make no sense. They attack where we are weakest, never where we expect. It's like they can read our thoughts." "Perhaps it is time to offer peace," suggested another elder. "No," shouted a tall, thin alien with glowing eyes. This was Tech Master Vril of the Elders. "I have the solution. Show them." Guards brought in a small metal box. Vril opened it carefully, revealing a glowing purple crystal inside. "This is the Nova Core," Vril explained. "Our ancestors built it as a last resort weapon. It can destroy an entire planet from anywhere in the galaxy." The council members stared in shock. Such a weapon violated all their laws. "We will target the humans' homeworld," Vril continued. "Once Earth is destroyed, the human forces will lose their will to fight." High Elder Moore looked troubled. "Using this weapon goes against everything we stand for." "They have left us no choice," Vril replied. "The humans must be stopped." After much debate, the council agreed. They would use the Nova Core to destroy Earth. The weapon was prepared and aimed at the human homeworld. What they didn't know was that humans had been listening. In a lab on one of Earth's moon bases, scientist Lisa Brown worked frantically at her computer. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but she couldn't stop now. "I found it," she shouted to the team around her. "I detected an unusual energy pattern coming from the Elder's homeworld. It's like nothing we've seen before." She sent the data to Earth's Defense Command. Within minutes, Prime Leader Jackson called an emergency meeting. "The aliens are preparing some kind of super weapon," she told the gathered leaders. "According to Dr. Brown's analysis, it could destroy our entire planet." Engineer Anna Miller stepped forward. "This is why we built Project SHIELD." She pressed a button on her tablet, showing a network of satellites around Earth. "These devices can create a protective barrier around the planet, but we've never tested it against something this powerful." "Do we have a choice?" asked Prime Leader Jackson. "No," Anna admitted. "But there's more. The shield doesn't just block energy, it can reflect it back to its source." A heavy silence fell over the room. Everyone understood what this meant. "Activate Project SHIELD," ordered Prime Leader Jackson. "And may God help us all." Around Earth, thousands of satellites moved into position. As they connected, a faint blue glow surrounded the planet. On the Elder's homeworld, Tech Master Vril activated the Nova Core. A beam of purple energy shot across the galaxy, aimed at Earth. When the beam hit Earth's shield, the blue glow turned bright white. For a moment, it seemed the shield might fail. Then the energy reversed direction, following the path back to its source. The Elders realized too late what was happening. The returned energy beam struck not their planet, but their sacred moon, the symbol of their civilization for 10,000 years. The moon exploded in a flash of light that was visible across half the galaxy. On Earth, people watched the distant explosion on their screens. No one cheered. They understood the terrible power they had just witnessed. In the Council's hidden base, High Elder Moore watched his people's sacred moon break apart. Tears fell from his 3 eyes. "What have we done?" he whispered. "We became the very monsters we accused the humans of being." The turning point of the war had come. The aliens had tried to destroy Earth with their greatest weapon. Instead, they had destroyed their own symbol of peace and wisdom. Now, nothing would stop humanity's advance. After the destruction of the Elder's sacred moon, the 3 remaining Council species knew they had one last chance. They gathered their remaining ships at their capital world, Centrum. This planet had been the heart of galactic civilization for 5,000 years. "If Centrum falls, the war is over," High Elder Moore told the assembled alien commanders. His voice shook with emotion. "We must make our stand here." The combined alien fleet was massive, over 2,000 warships forming a defensive ring around the planet. Energy shields glowed between the ships, creating a barrier that no enemy had ever broken. On the lead human ship, Admiral Robert Green studied the alien defenses. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes narrowed slightly. "They've gathered everything they have left," he told his officers. "This will be the hardest fight yet." Captain Tom Wilson stood beside him. "Their ships outnumber ours 3-1, Admiral." Admiral Green nodded. "Yes, but they fight to survive. We fight for Earth." The human fleet approached Centrum slowly. 500 ships against 2,000. On paper, it was not a fair fight. But humans had never fought fair. All ships, battle formation Delta, Admiral Green ordered. Prepare for Operation Hammer and Anvil. The human fleet split into 3 groups. The smallest group, just 50 ships, charged directly at the alien fleet. The other 2 groups moved to the sides, seemingly hanging back. The aliens focused their fire on the approaching human ships. Energy weapons flashed across space. Human ships exploded one after another, but they kept coming. On his command ship, the Vex general laughed. See how stupid they are. They throw their ships away in a direct attack. High Elder Moore wasn't so sure. Why are the other human ships not attacking? He got his answer moments later. The 50 human ships that charged forward weren't trying to break through. They were sacrificing themselves to draw the aliens' attention. As the aliens focused on them, the other human ships launched thousands of small fighter craft that slipped through gaps in the alien defenses. These fighters, each with just 1 pilot, targeted the shield generators on the alien ships. One by one, sections of the defensive barrier went dark. Impossible, shouted the Vex general. No pilot would fly such a mission. It's certain death. But the human pilots did fly those missions. When their weapons were gone, they crashed their fighters into critical alien systems. When their engines failed, they ejected into space to disable alien sensors with their suits' lasers. In space, human ground troops in special armor used short-range jump packs to leap from ship to ship, fighting their way inside alien vessels to capture or destroy them. On the command ship, Admiral Green watched the battle unfold, launched the second wave. The rest of the human fleet now moved forward, targeting the gaps in the alien defenses. Human ships took terrible damage, but they kept fighting even when their hulls were breached and their crews were dying. The aliens couldn't understand it. Their warriors retreated when wounded. They surrendered when defeat was certain. But the humans fought harder when they were hurt, fought more desperately when victory seemed impossible. After 6 hours of battle, the alien fleet broke apart. Ships fled in all directions, no longer a united force. The path to Centrum was open. On the planet's surface, the alien leaders watched in horror as human ships entered orbit. Their defenses, which had stood for thousands of years, had fallen in less than a day. How? Asked High Elder Moore as human ships landed outside the capital city. How did they defeat our greatest fleet? A human officer who had been captured earlier and was now being used as a messenger answered him. Because you fight until you might die, he said simply. We fight until we win, no matter the cost. As human troops secured the capital city, Admiral Green prepared for the final act of the war. The council that had threatened Earth would surrender on their own sacred ground. And then humanity would show the galaxy something no one expected. Mercy. The great hall of Centrum was silent. Tall windows let in soft purple light from the planet's 3 suns. Where once 1,000 alien leaders had debated the future of the galaxy, now stood just a few dozen survivors. Captain Tom Wilson walked slowly to the center of the hall. His uniform was clean and pressed for this historic moment. Behind him came Admiral Green, General Davis, and Prime Leader Jackson. They represented Earth's military and government. Across from them stood the remaining council leaders, including High Elder Moore. His 3 eyes were dull with defeat. Beside him, the Vex general's scales had turned the pale yellow of surrender. 3 weeks ago, Tom began. Your council voted to quarantine Earth. You destroyed one of our research stations to show your power. You thought we would accept this treatment. He looked at each alien face. You were wrong. High Elder Moore stepped forward. We admit our mistake, human. We underestimated your kind. Now we must face the consequences. The aliens expected the worst. In their history, defeated enemies were enslaved or destroyed. Their worlds were taken. Their people scattered. What will you do to our worlds? To our people? Asked the elder. Prime Leader Jackson stepped forward. Captain Wilson, who watched your council begin this war, will now tell you how it ends. Tom took a small device from his pocket and placed it on the center table. It projected an image of a document in the air. The title read, "The Earth Accord." "This is not a list of demands," Tom explained. "This is an invitation to build something new." The aliens looked confused. This was not what they expected. "The old council is gone," Tom continued. "In its place, we propose a new alliance of worlds. All species will have equal voice. All planets will have the right to govern themselves. No world may threaten another. No species may claim superiority." He pointed to different sections of the document. "Trade will be fair. Knowledge will be shared. Disputes will be settled by vote, not force." The alien leaders looked at each other in shock. The humans were not demanding surrender. They were offering partnership. "But you won," said the Vex general, confused. "You could take everything from us." Admiral Green spoke for the first time. "That's not why we fought. We fought because you threatened our freedom. We won't do the same to you." High Elder Moore studied the document carefully. "And if we refuse, then Earth will protect itself," General Davis said firmly. "But each world will be free to choose its own path." For 2 hours, the alien leaders read the Earth Accord. They asked questions. They suggested changes. The humans listened and agreed to many of their ideas. Finally, High Elder Moore placed his hand on the document. "In 5,000 years of council history, no victory has ended like this. You humans are strange creatures. You fight with unmatched fury, yet offer peace with open hands." One by one, the alien leaders signed the Earth Accord. As the last signature was added, the document glowed briefly. Then copies were sent to every world in the galaxy. Outside the Great Hall, thousands of beings from 100 different species gathered to watch on huge screens. When they saw the signing, a cheer went up that shook the ancient buildings. That night, Captain Tom Wilson stood on a balcony looking at the stars. He thought about his brother and the others who had died when this all began. Prime Leader Jackson joined him. "Was it worth it, Captain?" Tom nodded slowly. "They thought we would bring war to a peaceful galaxy. Instead, we brought real peace to a galaxy that only pretended to be united." Across the stars, human ships began their journey home. The war was over. Human soldiers would return to Earth, but human diplomats, teachers, traders, and explorers would take their place. The galaxy had learned a powerful lesson. When humanity chose war, the old order was doomed. But when humanity won, they chose to build rather than destroy. And that was the greatest victory of all.